An Arizona Republican has introduced a bill to end democracy in his state. They're pretty forward with that. Senator Anthony Kern, a former fake elector for Donald Trump, which explains everything, is pushing Senate Concurrent Resolution 1014, which would bypass the popular vote altogether in determining how to award electoral votes. Currently, the popular vote in the state determines how many electoral votes each state gives to a candidate. Some states are proportional, other states are winner take all. The bill, however, this one says that the sole authority to appoint presidential electors should fall to the legislature. Quote, it is the responsibility of the Arizona Secretary of State to certify elections, including elections for President of the United States, but the sole authority to appoint presidential electors is granted to the legislature. Therefore, it concludes the legislature and no other official shall appoint presidential electors in accordance with the United States Constitution. That's it. That's the bill, the whole thing. That is 4 lines that would disenfranchise millions of Arizonans. That's it. Their vote wouldn't matter, wouldn't count if it goes contrary to what the legislature wants. I mean, who runs the Arizona legislature? Currently, Republicans. Despite having a Democratic governor, Secretary of State, and Attorney General, the legislature would have all the power to then say, we're just going to put these electors. We know Democrats, for example, won this time, but you know what? We really don't like that. So we're just going to give all the electoral votes of the swing state to Donald Trump or whatever Republican is running. You don't think that would happen? It's exactly the full point of this bill, so that it would happen. Now, look, that would be a disaster, but it would also be a disaster the other way around. Imagine if Democrats got control of the legislature in Arizona. Hey, stranger things have happened. Well, then they could also do that. They wouldn't, but that's beside the point, right? I wouldn't like it if Democrats did this, and under this bill, they could. Unless, of course, for some reason, Republicans, on their way out of power, would suddenly get rid of the law in some way, or this nullify it, or come up with a way to prevent Democrats from abusing it, which again, they wouldn't, but still, theoretically. That said, this bill is a Senate concurrent resolution. Now, what does that mean? It means it doesn't require the governor's signature and doesn't actually have the force of law behind it. But at the end of the day, it does function more to state the legislative body's position on an issue. So basically, it's a message saying that, hey, Republicans, we're Republicans. We don't care about the will of the people. The will of the voters, if they don't agree with us, our will as legislators, then we're just going to nullify. We're just going to bypass the popular vote and give our votes to whoever we want. Now, that said, it also says that if Republicans end up getting the governorship and the legislature, full control, trifecta in the government, they might actually codify this and make it into an actual law, completely bypassing, again, the vote and disenfranchising millions of people. So let's get into the details about who Anthony Kern is. So as I mentioned, he's a fake elector, okay? Somebody who claimed to be a real elector, but again, was not, decided to ignore the will of the people, so it's not really a surprise here to see him do this. Now, his past also shows that he was fake other things. For example, a fake cop. He was fired in 2014 from his job as being a code enforcement officer in the city of El Mirage. He had lied to his supervisor, for one, about a lost tablet computer, and his name was added to the Maricopa County Attorney's Office of so-called Brady List. And it's a database of police employees with known credibility issues. Shocker. That same year, Kern had later tried unsuccessfully to get his name removed from that list, only to be outed in a Phoenix New Times expose. In that expose, we find that at Kern's request, fellow Republican Representative John Kavanaugh sponsored a bill to give officers the ability to appeal an agency's decision to add their names to that list. Now, getting to the faker part. He was caught lying about being a certified peace officer meaning he never actually got a police certification. Not until 2017. And that's when he was given one by waiver from the Tombstone Marshal's Department. So, never really was a certified officer, but had lied about it on his application. And of course, in addition, lied about paying for a lost tablet, lied about being a real elector, and then, of course, tried to hide his lies. And at the end of the day, has decided, I'm just going to try to legalize my lies. Oh, wonderful. Great. Oh, there's more. In October, Josh Gray, an IT worker who lives in Kern's district, had filed a complaint against him, claiming he illegally spent roughly $2,000 donated to his failed re-election bid on airfare to and from D.C. plus lodging while there. Oops. Well, there you go.
Whoopsie.
Reached by phone on Tuesday, Gray said Kern's proposal to undermine the popular vote in Arizona is hardly a shock. Quote, it's literally what he tried to do back in 2021. It doesn't surprise me that Kern would be the one to put it out there, considering he was one of the fake electors in Arizona. He further told the Daily Beast that Kern's brazen behavior has largely gone unchecked, who said if there's no accountability, it could inspire people to follow his lead in other states. But it wouldn't just be his lead, it was former President Donald Trump who had gotten these fake electors in the first place. Trump and his allies, of course, tried to use these fake electors to allow him to cheat his way back into power, or to keep his power, to prevent the peaceful transition of power, and claim that, oh no, see the states, they all voted for me because look at all these electors. These duly appointed electors, and you know, the voter, obviously the voters were, it was so much voter fraud. That's what it was. Yes, it was voter fraud. So much voter fraud that you can't trust the counts, but you can trust these fake electors that just happen to be on my side. Oh, no, how about no, F off. Okay, that's not, no, we're not going to listen to that. And we're actually going to trust the people who overwhelmingly voted against Donald Trump in this last election. And so that's the reality of the situation. But it isn't surprising to see a fake elector, liar, attempting to, make it so that he and people who agree with him are taken, well, let's just say their word is taken over the word of the voters and the will of the people. And so a liar, thief, trying to help Trump steal that next election away from the citizens of Arizona, the good people of Arizona.